Hello, so today we're going to be doing our Unit 3 test corrections on linear equations and inequalities. So the first problem on our test was a domain and range question. It says a student worked out at a gym continuously for 50 minutes. The graph shows the remaining percentage of the workout as a linear function of x, the time in minutes. Which answer choice best describes the domain and range? So we're looking for domain and range of this problem. So we need to figure out what our domain and range is. So our domain is always our x values. So we read it like that. So this point on our x-axis starts at 0, goes all the way until it stops right here at 50. So we're including, because these are not arrows, all real numbers between 0 and 50. So we're going to read through our problems. We're going to find that answer choice. So it says domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 100. Well, we're looking for 50, so that's not it. So we'll get rid of that answer choice. This one says that the domain is just -2, which we know is incorrect because it's all of these numbers. The domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 50. That is what I'm looking for. So that is correct. But you always want to read through all your answer choices just to make sure. Domain is just 100. And that one's incorrect. So for this one, it's going to be answer choice C. If you weren't sure and you wanted to check your range as well, remember, range is our y-axis. So we go from bottom to top, and our lowest point is 0. And it goes all the way up. And sorry, my line's not perfect, but it goes up to 100. And this one says the range is all real numbers greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 100. So that one also checks out. So use the process of elimination. For that one, I could have just looked at my domain only and found that answer choice. So go ahead and please mark that answer choice on your test. And if you have any questions about it, please make sure you just ask, and I can always help you with domain and range problems. So I'm going to go ahead and erase. Okay. So now we're going to go on to question number 2. Question number 2 says the table shows the amount of food in a cup remaining in an automatic feeder as a function of the number of meals the feeder has dispensed. Based on the table, which function models the situation? So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to use our calculators, and we're going to plug in these equations and match the table. But remember, when you're using your calculator, our variable must be x. So we're going to type in x. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over here. And hopefully I'm going to move this, just make sure it's not in the way of the video. Move that over here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our graph screen. So when you're at home, you click on the little U. If you are at home to do this, you can use Desmos, but remember you're still using X. So our first one says -3x plus 24. -3x plus 24. Press enter. And then we have to look at the table. To pull up the table, it's Control T for table. And we have to match our X or N values to their output. So your column on your calculator is going to be a little bit thinner than mine, but when 1, we get 21. So our first point checks out. Now more than one point can check out, so you want to make sure you're checking all of them. Our next one is 3. When I'm at 3, I get 15. Also checks out. So let's check the next one. 6, 6. 6, 6. Also checks out. And our last one is 7, 3. 7, 3. So we got lucky on this one. We got it on the first try. So this one is F. You're not always going to get it on the first try. So you just do process of elimination. Try the first one. If it doesn't work, scratch it out. Go to the next one and continue until you find your problem. So this one was F. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and erase. Please make sure F is marked on your test corrections form. Okay, I'm gonna move the calculator the way for now. Her next one says, researchers in Antarctica discovered a warm sea current under the glacier that causes the glacier to melt. Melt is decreasing, so that's gonna become subtraction. It's really hard to write with the mouse, but that means subtraction. The ice shelf of the glacier has a thickness of approximately 450 meters. So this is our B. Our B is our starting value. Okay, so we know two things now. We know our starting value is 450, and we're going to be doing subtraction because it's melting. So at that point, I already know my answer. Reason being, plus, 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 this one's the only one that has subtraction. If you're not sure and you want to make one last check, we're going to go ahead and finish reading. Before I want to read, I want to make sure you remember we're doing this usually in the form of y equals mx plus b. So this is the b, and it can be in a different format, but let's see if we could find that rate of change. So that was when it was first discovered. The thickness of the ice shelf is decreasing, once again, another word for subtraction, at 0.6 meters per day. So that's my rate of change, 0.6. So 0.6x, 0.06x plus our starting value, but this is going to be negative because it's decreasing. So 450 minus 0.06x. So this is the only one that would work for the subtraction. This one does have a negative in front for that rate of change. The issue is it's got parentheses. So the parentheses would apply to the x, but it would change our starting value. So that's why it's going to be A. Okay. I'll let you go ahead and write that down. Okay, hopefully you documented your answer. I'm going to go ahead and erase. If any time I'm going too fast, this is a pre-recorded video. Please pause and rewind. Okay. What is the equation that passes through the line, or passes through the point -2, 7 and has a 0 slope? This is where you use that nice little phrase, Hoy-Vux. And I'm actually going to type this because I don't feel like horizontal line, 0 slope, y equals your y value. Vertical line, undefined slope, and x equals your x value. Okay, so we use Hoy-Vux for that. So it looks a little bit off because I typed it in, but horizontal line, 0 slope, y equals your y value. Vertical line, undefined slope, x equals your x value. So Hoy-Vux. So first thing it says 0 slope, and I'll underline that in case you didn't see it, 0 slope. So we go and we find, well, 0 slope is here. So that means we need y equals our y value. And my y value in an ordered pair is always a second number. So I've got my equation. It's y equals 7. So D. So by remembering Hoy-Vux, horizontal line, 0 slope, y equals your y value, vertical line, undefined slope, x equals your x value, we can easily figure out this is y equals 7. Okay, so that is D. So I'll go ahead and erase. We'll probably use Hoy-Vux again a little bit later. So our next one, it says a grill at a barbecue restaurant will be used to cook sausage links that are 2 pounds each. So 2 pounds. And briskets that are 6 pounds each. So I should probably also, that's briskets, that's sausage links. No more than 120 sausage links and briskets will be cooked on the grill. Which inequality represents the possible combinations of X, the number of sausage links? So we know X is sausage and we have 2 pounds per sausage that will be cooked, and Y, the number of briskets. Y is briskets. Briskets are 6 pounds, so plus 6Y. And we know it's going to be 120 pounds. We just need to know our inequality symbol. So no more than, this is our maximum. So I cannot go over this. When we have a maximum, you're going to have less than or equal to. I can hit 120. I just can't go over 120. So I have 2x plus 6y is less than or equal to 120, which is B. Hopefully you went ahead and marked that answer. So you just match your coefficients and logically think about what inequality symbol you would use. That's all you have to do there. Okay, our next one. What is the slope of the line that passes through the point 5, -11, and -9, 17? Now this is on your formula chart. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this one. Wait 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. So we know our slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's make that a little bit, it's right there. Okay, so this is x1, y1, oh, you can't even tell it's a y, x2, y2. So you start at the top as you go that way and subtract. So that's going to be 17 minus -11 over, and then we do the other way and subtract. -9 minus 5. So I'm gonna pull up my calculator and I'm just gonna type it in as I set it up. So go home, calculator screen, Control divide to get a fraction. 17 minus -11 down. -9 minus 5. And you just press enter. We get -2. So I go to my problem and I just put in -2. So for the for the slope formula, all you have to do is know how to set it up, and you can just plug it directly into your calculator. So as soon as you could set it up, that's how you get your answer. So hopefully you went ahead and you marked that number 6 as -2. And we'll move on to the next one. Number 7, what is the slope of the graph y equals 12x minus 19? This is literally the easiest question you will be ever asked. You have it on your formula chart. Oops, sorry. You have it on your formula chart. M is always your slope. B is always your y-intercept. This looks horrible. Okay. M is always next to x. So the number next to x is 12. So 12. Like I said, that involves absolutely no work, just identifying where is your slope in slope-intercept form. So that is 12. This formula is on your formula chart. You just have to know that M is always going to be slope. Okay, so number 7 is D. Number 12, please make sure you got that entered into your test corrections. Number 8, this one is an enter in your answer using the slope formula. So remember, on the top, we have y2 minus y1, and we're always going left to right, y2, y1. So you're going to subtract those. 2 minus 3.6. On the bottom, you're going to have your x values, x2 minus x1. So also subtracting 5 minus -3. So we're going to take our calculator, control divide, 2 minus 3.6, 5 minus -3. 3. And I get negative 0.2. So in here, I'm going to put in negative 0.2. That's going to go in that box right there. You just type that in, negative 0.2. So on there, use the slope formula whenever you got fractions. Or not fractions, sorry, decimals. It's going to make it super easy because you're probably going to get a decimal for an answer. So negative 0.2. Okay, we got 2 problems left. The graph of the linear function k passes to the point negative 7, 0, and 1, 8. Which statement is true? So only one statement is going to be true. So we're going to start with the easiest thing first. I'm going to write it to the side and we'll go down and look at our answer choices. So we can find our slope from this 2 points, but this right here is an important piece of information. Because we got a 0, this is named your x-intercept. Well, our x-intercept is also known as a 0. It's interchangeable. So we have our x-intercept. I'm trying to make it the best E possible. Also known as our 0. And that's at negative 7. So we're going to go down and we're going to look at our answer choices because we know that we have an x-intercept or 0 at negative 7. Now we know we want a true answer. So let's go down and look at our answer choices. We have the slope of the graph of k is negative 4/3. So that's a possibility we haven't solved for it yet. The graph of the point passes through negative 1, negative 8. Well, the points up there were 1, 8. So we don't know anything about negatives yet. The 0 is positive 7. This is a negative 7. So we can say no. The x-intercept is negative 7. That is correct. Based on that point that we found, we know that the x-intercept is negative 7. So you want to think smarter, not harder. Try to save yourself some work. That is going to be x-intercept is negative 7. Based on the fact that the ordered pair it gave us, we didn't even have to find slope or to see if that point fell through. So we are good to go. So that one is D. Okay, we got one more problem to go. Our last one, it's got multiple graphs on there. So let's read it first and then figure it out. A college student has 2 different jobs. Her combined work schedules cannot consist of no more than 48 hours in a week. So she can work 48 hours at job A and 0 hours at job B, or she could work 48 hours at job B. And no more than, that's our max. We can't work anything more than that. So we need to have those being our intercepts and we need to have it shaded down. So we have 48, 48 shaded down. That looks exactly what I'm looking for. But I'm gonna go through all of them just to be safe. 48, 48 shaded up. That's saying that she works over 48 hours every week? No. This one says that she can work 0 hours. This is going over 48. We got it going to 54. So that is not correct. And same thing here. That line is not correct. So the only one that's got a correct line and correct shading is F. Because we needed to have it at 48 as the max, 48 as the max, and shaded down. Okay, so please make sure you have all those answers filled in. Go ahead and submit your test corrections. Make sure you hit submit, otherwise you will not get credit for them. And if you have any additional questions, please see me during tutorials. You have a wonderful rest of your day.